fly, trying to take my peace from me. I'm sure that was enough. Start. Yes, I warn you, fly. At some point, my irritation-o-meter is going to exceed your ability to evade my attacks. And you will be slay, and it will be a sad day for you. I warn ye. Uh, do you talk to the flies? I sure am grateful that I'm not one sometimes. Maybe it's a type of life to live as well. What do I know? What do I know? Maybe it's great being a fly. If I was a fly, would I get close to a human being? If I was a fly and I saw a human being, would I be grateful to see them? Would I be overcome with a deep sense of happiness? Being like, ah, now I can go and lick the skin of this human being. Is that what flies think? I don't know. I don't know if you can hear the fighting happening in the background. I'm sorry. It is like let's think about it like music. La 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 la. Kumusta sa lahat? Kumusta sa lahat? I don't know what that means. I don't even know if I said it correctly, but it has been said. There's so much energy around me right now. I'm gonna push this button, and then suddenly an overwhelming peace will wash over us. I think some of the noise got reduced. Potentially not all of it, but that feels better in my imagining of what you friends must be experiencing at the very least. I talk to everything like it can understand me. Dogs, turtles, trees, rocks, water. I could be a little off. I do the same thing, Pojo. I do the same thing. And it brings me comfort to know that you do the same as well. When I talk to Pippi, I do talk to her like she understands me. But in that way, I understand that her understanding is limited. So, what I say to her that I know she can understand, believing she does understand, is how great she is, how much I love her, how she's such a cute little Pippi, you know. And I believe she understands. I mean, like she's like, yeah, yeah, I am. I am a little Pippi. Yeah, I am. Wish you my water kiss? Wish you my blacker kiss? Oh, wish you my pupper kiss? Woo! She my liver. She my liver, sis. Hey, hey, Rista. Rista means calm down. You see? Look, instantly, she understands. She understands. Yeah, 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 yeah. Riles her up, and then she's like, "Hey, Rista." Maybe actually it's the hey. Maybe that's maybe she doesn't understand what I'm saying. Hey, yeah, Rista, Rista, she's like, "Hey, come on, do a thing, do a thing. Come on, come on." This is my watch hand. I don't actually want you. Hey, I don't actually want you like gripping my watch with your little feetsies. Less than ideal. But you are super cute, you Swedish. Sweetie, sweetie. Give him some neck massager. I'm getting slightly bit as well. Little bit bit. You silly creature. You creature, you. You being a creature. Okay. Come here. Come hither. Come hither. Let's come. Hey, sweet dogger. Hey, sweet. Hey, sweet. Mm. Melty, honestly though, it works most of the time. It works for me at the very least. Look at this creature being like, hey, come on, give me more. And give me more attention. Yeah. I can keep internally screaming about my watch being on this hand. Or I can swap it around. Momentarily speaking. Suddenly I don't have the dexterity to do this as easily as I do it the other way around. Interesting how that is, huh? Yo! Am I struggling? Surely this can't be so hard. Okay. All right. Bite you. All right. I'll bite you back. Bite. And you bite. And I'm biting. And then I'm biting. Alright, you silly creature, you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm catching you. You have been caught. You have been caught by me. You have been caught. Okay. I am covered in here. I need to untism myself for a second. Yes. Yes. I know they don't know English, but also it's a tone that's important. We put our energy into the airwaves. It's true. It's true. Hadi för mig. Desta. Desta. My hands are absolutely filthy. I need to go and wash them before I can continue streaming. Hey, I gotcha. Gotcha. Back. It's nice having you here again, Whisper. Shit. Work emergency. Everything okay? You silly creature. You. Oh, get you. Oh, get your hands. I still a lot. Body language is loud. True. I started talking to my cats like they could understand me. And that's how they behave, Joe. Like mute humans who understand speech but cannot do it themselves. Sam, I don't know if you saw my comment on the last one. Well, I'll put it this way. I'm grateful for you keeping us cats wrangled in these conversations. Yeah, cat wrangled. Scarf, nice. True. This is one of the ones that were given to me by Anne at the slapping competition recently, actually. It's nice having you here. Joy V. Oh, come on. There's Anna's gonna come in. Hey. It's gonna Hands are not toys. My hands are durable. And Pippi knows not to hurt me. Not to hurt. Not to hurt me. Right? Even if I'm a little bit abrasive, she won't like bite down on me. She's a good dogger. She's a good dog. You see? Like she'll hurt me sometimes a little bit. Like that's where true pain occurs. It's like her trying to grip me with her little handsies. Right? She'll hurt me more trying to do that than she'll hurt me biting me. She hates having her autonomy taken. Especially relax. Oh, there you go. Oh, let's see. Let's see. During these altercations, she wants to be all the time. Crazy, crazy, all the time, crazy, just crazy. Oh, I'll come in. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna come in, get you. Yeah, I'm gonna come in. Okay. All right. Here she comes again. I'm gonna go and wash my hands. You silly thing. You crazy creature. You. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna come in. I'm catching you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Zooming me up. Freaking crazy creature. Huh? Are you inexhaustible? You can drink some water. I'm just washing my hands. So one thing that will happen is for her spit and the amount of dust, my hands get super big, super quickery. Relax yourself, creature of boundless spirit. Calm your nerves. Yeah, I think I got misquoted a little bit too. I'm usually not interested in what my cat has to say, but we talk. I have the same conversation with my cat, with Ginger at least, every day. Ginger vocalizes with me, especially when he's trying to get my attention for either scritches or food. And then I acknowledge his vocalizations like, oh, yeah, uh-huh. And then I go, anything else? Right? And I have this running deal with my cat that if he says anything other than meow, I'll give him whatever he wants. I'll give him everything that's in the fridge. But he keeps saying meow. So the fridge stays ours. No, 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 no. It's called herding. It's called herding. One herds cats. But if you were to ask us, we tell you how futile an effort it really is. Besides, this place is a lot more fun when I'm hands off. It's fun with your hands on it as well, you know, steering the ship in our own crazy directions. Not like you haven't steered us in crazy directions, Sam. I've always felt like I understand animals, but recently in my life, I'm starting to realize how much they understand me as well. It's one of the coolest aspects of this reality. The creatures do get you, right? Like Pippi doesn't play like that with anyone else. Or at least I don't know anybody else who will engage her in kind of shenanigans like that, right? And then go back to us being just chillaxing, right? So in that way, I feel like it is knowing something to be grateful for. That is today's stream topic, after all. Listening is real art. I do declare. Thank you for listening so well. Allah. Bless you, bro. Scarf. Nice. JV is one of the production line caught fire and ruined some merchandise. Wow. These are the things you don't hear about. But I guess they happen too. Is that something that happens regularly? Or was it just like a work emergency? Like something happened that wasn't supposed to happen? And I don't know if you care, but I am instantly curious. Like, how does a production line catch fire? Maybe with welding. Maybe there was like something that got welded. That could be something. Yeah. Okay. Makes kind of sense. What a vicious beast. Hey, Fit. Right. Absolute creature of the night. So in Sam's world, I have started mood stabilizers. You've started mood stabilizers. Yesterday was my first dose. I'm happy they're working for you, Sam. I've lived my whole life teetering on the edge of anger, and this is the first, like a breath of fresh air. And I'm starting to wonder how much of my personality was based on that hair trigger anger response. Every time I started depression, anxiety medication, I felt them work immediately, placebo effect or not. I feel that statement. I hear you, friends. Like I have tabs open in my mind that I'm gonna quickly look into. Uh, you want to let us know which one you're taking? Is it lithium? Is it valproic acid? Is it carbamazepine? Carbamazepine? Or is it lamotrigine? Because apparently, depending on which ones you take, like the best one apparently is the Lamo one. Lamotrigine, Lamotrigine, Zoloft. Okay, sure. Okay, my heart, like my heart was like doing like some things. Here we go. We had another. Here we go. We had another one every like 40-minute ish disconnection period. But we're back again. I have closed tabs in my mind. I feel okay. Love is true. I'm happy that you got medication, dear Sam, that it's helping. And I imagine that it continuing to help in a way that allows you to bring this little creature we call a baby in the world in the best possible way. Give them the best possible experience that they need as well. My mom is one of the people in our world that experience postpartum depression. So like there's a bunch of things there, right? Like and can't imagine the hair trigger experience making that whole thing easier. Bless you. That's what I'm saying, Sam. Bless the baby too. Mm, I've realized how much melatonin helps my general disposition. I know they prescribe it for sleep, but in small doses, it just makes you chill. You're just like taking melatonin during the day as well. I had this whole canon theory in my mind that melatonin. Let's ask a language model because it's probably very off, right? So the canon theory is that melatonin and dimethyltryptamine are very similar molecularly, and that it is possible for our bodies to use our melatonin and potentially exogenous melatonin to produce more DMT, which alters our perception. I should have been recording that. I have this theory that melatonin and DMT have some sort of association. I should start a whole new questionnaire because this one is okay. I have this theory about melatonin and dimethyltryptamine. How melatonin and dimethyltryptamine are very similar molecularly and is something experienced in our dream state as well. So I believe that DMT can potentially be synthesized or made out of our melatonin supply or exogenous melatonin supply by our brains, altering our perception potentially of our reality or of our dream space. Is there any possibility of that being true on a molecular level? Let's see. Let's see what the collective human knowledge says. Melatonin and dimethyltryptamine are structurally related, both belonging to the tryptamine family of compounds. Melatonin is N-acetyl 5-methoxytryptamine, while DMT is NN-dimethyltryptamine. They share iron indole backbone, which contributes to their structural similarity. The biosynthesis pathways of melatonin and DMT diverge from the common precursor tryptophan. Tryptophan is first converted to tryptamine, which can then follow different enzymic routes. Melatonin synthesis. Tryptamine is hydroxylated to serotonin, which is then acetylated, and methylated to form melatonin. DMT synthesis. Tryptamine undergoes two N-methylation steps catalyzed by the enzyme INMT, resulting in DMT. While both compounds share a biosynthetic origin, there is no established metabolic pathway in humans that convert melatonin directly into DMT. The enzymic process that produce melatonin and DMT are distinct, and current scientific evidence does not support the conversion of melatonin to DMT in the brain. Regarding to the role of DMT in dream states, some hypothesize suggesting that endogenous, the stuff you produce yourself, DMT could influence dreaming or alter states of consciousness. However, empirical evidence supporting this idea is limited, and the exact function of endogenous DMT remains a topic of ongoing research. In summary, although melatonin and DMT are structurally similar and share a common precursor, there is no known okay, so there is no known biological pathway, but we do produce DMT endogenously. And melatonin can apparently be turned, tryptamine is hydroxylated to serotonin, which is then acetylated to methylated form of melatonin. So it gives you something that took a bunch of steps, right, in your own system to kind of like get to. But both of them start from tryptamine, right? So the way that my mind is gonna still give myself a pat on the back for understanding a potential interaction is that by giving yourself exogenous melatonin, you require less from your own body, which is being hydroxylated, you know, which is your tryptamine being hydroxylated to serotonin, which is then being acetylated and methylated into melatonin, of course, right? But then it doesn't have to because it has the melatonin, it has the end product already. So it has all of this extra tryptamine, which can then undergo two N-methylation steps catalyzed by the enzyme indole thilamine and methyl transversase. Of course, I'm butchering these words so brutally, but I think you get the point. So yeah, it could be. Now, I'm gonna ask, so I'm theorizing, and this is again a canon theory from someone who's not actually educated, but it makes some reasonable sense that if you give yourself exogenous melatonin, for sleep, or even if you take them during the day, your body by definition would not need to make as much of its own, and as a result, potentially be left over with extra tryptamine, which could then potentially undergo the other methylation steps, for DMT synthesis endogenously. Let's see what it says. Let's see if it agrees. This one is connected to the internet as well, so it's not just a language model. Your hypothesis suggests that supplementing with endogenous melatonin might suppress the body's natural melatonin production, leading to an accumulation of tryptophan or tryptamine, which could then be derived towards endogenous DMT synthesis. While this is an interesting proposition, scientific evidence does not support your sequence of events. Okay, let's see why. Melatonin production and tryptophan availability. Melatonin is synthesized from the amino acid tryptophan through a multi-step pathway. There's the hydroxylation, the decarboxylation, the acetyl and methylation. Yeah, not important. The DMT synthesis pathway. Okay, like I'm not caring. I'm not caring really about the how it's made necessarily. Interplay between these pathways. Okay, the biosynthetic pathways for melatonin and DMT diverge after the formation of tryptamine. In the melatonin pathways, tryptamine is hydroxylated to serotonin, which is then converted to melatonin. In the DMT pathway, tryptamine undergoes N-methylation to form DMT. We've already established this. The regulation of these pathways is complex and involves multiple enzymic controls. Importantly, the suppression of melatonin synthesis does not necessarily lead to an accumulation of tryptamine, as the body tightly regulates these intermediates to maintain homeostasis. Additionally, the activity of INMT, the enzyme responsible for DMT synthesis, is a key limiting factor and is not directly influenced by melatonin levels. Uh, Is the INMT directly influenced by tryptophan concentrations? As you said, the body tries to find homeostasis. So it might end up producing more DMT to find homeostasis instead of potentially reducing the amount of tryptophan. While the similarities between melatonin and DMT are a shared precursor, tryptophan presents an intriguing basis for your hypothesis. Current biochemical understanding indicates that endogenous melatonin supplements does not lead to increased endogenous DMT production. The body's regulatory mechanism maintain distinct control over these metabolic pathways, preventing such cross interactions under normal physiological conditions. You think we're normal, bro? So INMT is the enzyme responsible. I know the regulation, yes, hormone activity, various genetic expression, yeah, of course, availability of substrates like tryptophan, and positive feedback inhibitors by its products. Expression may modulate tryptophan metabolism and homeostasis. Tryptophan serves as a precursor for several metabolic pathways, serotonin and melatonin synthesis. We know this. Oh, this is another one we didn't know about. Uh, Kynurenine? Kynurenine. So there's a 9. Uranine? Kynurenine pathway. The majority of tryptophan is metabolized via the kynurenine pathway, leading to the production of, NAD. We know about this one. Nicotinamide idine dinucleotide. It's basically something that keeps you young. Like, that's me bastardizing that word, but it's like, if you have more NAD, your body stays younger for longer. Tryptamine in DMT synthesis. A minor fraction of tryptophan is decarboxylated to form tryptamine, which can be N-methylated by INMT to produce DMT. So cool, we have these like literal chemical factories in our bodies that just make DMT out of our tryptophan. And most of it is being used to make NAD. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. Should make sense, actually. The body maintains homeostasis by regulating these pathways to balance the various demands for tryptophan-derived metabolites. An increase in tryptophan availability does not necessarily result in proportional increase in DMT synthesis, as the flux through each pathway is tightly controlled. I really appreciate all the depth with which we have explored this topic, but I'm thinking now, at least, specifically about the anecdotal response where people will regularly suggest an increase of vivid dreams when they take melatonin supplements. And there surely has to be some sort of correlation with endogenous DMT production and the dream state. We're going a little bit more into the hippie woo-wah-ness a little bit, right? Anecdotally. My eyes are closing, but my ears are open. I love you, friends, so very muchly. Rest, dear Zhao. Have a good Saturday. I realized how, less again, the melatonin. Giovanna, I call those Star Trek naps, and they are incredibly restorative. Super, very muchly auto-corrected. I like that, Sam. My Whoop band does too. Melatonin gives sweets. But I take an old school tricycle antidepressant off label for sleep. I take an old school tricyclic antidepressant off label for sleep. Goodness. More like night sweats. I get night sweats if I eat late. My body tells me to get up and move the food around. How about that? I'm grateful for this giant unsafe street. Yeah, back again. Still cold, but yesterday I was on the ropes for the first time yesterday. I love it, methodically. And what a rush when it's go time. Bless Brad. Duck that success. Duck that is always successing out here in his own way, multiple different ways, and everything that he chooses to approach. Joy V, it's been a while. How have you been? Swampy. Still 3 days of work, but success enough. Good. My dog is wagging her tail in her sleep. That's so sweet. Nancy, it's nice having you here with us, friend. Shoo! I think I missed a bunch. Hope you're well. Fighting being old and my joint's not working. You are practicing yoga. Joy. Inevitable decrepitude. I mean, like, yoga is literally the #1 way to fight that stuff. It's been for thousands of years. Saturday morning in bed, listen to rain. It's a beautiful thing. I started those pains a decade ago. If you want a diet change, good help with high cholesterol, hardcore biochemistry class today. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mojo. It's fun though. It's interesting. Some interesting things. I must be the only person excited to age. I'm starting to find gray hairs, and they're not dingy gray, they're shiny silver. And I can't wait for a full head of that. I think that's cool. Gray hair is the cool part of getting old. Your joints no longer working and it hurting just for getting up in the morning and you choking on a glass of water and being in pain for 2 days. Right? Like, that kind of stuff is not great about getting older. And I feel like we have a moral imperative to fight getting old in that way. Right? Have your gray hair, but we're not getting old. Nancy, it's a bunch of stuff. I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I plan on making the changes and working out again.
Diet is the hardest part because wife and daughter have massive food sensitivity. Yeah. Sam, wait until child is born. I went from no gray to coming out in force. Your wife and child's food sensitivity is regrettable and possibly a cause of concern if your wife cares. If your cholesterol is struggling, hers might be as well. This is true. Unfortunately, food sensitivities are not, some foods are still better for you than others. All right. And are going to do things to your body. It's time for you to start eating better at home, regardless of their issues. Antidepressants give me vivid dreams. How about that? Serotonin stuff, right? Sam, it's more of the issue of incredible difficulty for food, to cook for two other people, run a business, take care of the child, and then find some way to cook for myself. What you could do is batch prepare, right? Cook once a week, like bulk healthy diet food, right? Chicken breasts, pieces of broccoli, and brown rice, right, or whatever. And then have that bulk prepared food, and then you can still cook for the family on a day-to-day basis if you feel you need to, or if that's what's required of you, I should say instead. This is not a thing for you to give to your family, dog. This is something you have to do for your family so that you can be around longer. Yeah, only 24 hours in a day, exactly. But there is more hours in a week, and you can spend the same amount of hours technically. You can spend 1 extra hour for the most part cooking bulk and then putting it in Tupperware and then putting that Tupperware in your freezer. And it's cold enough that things are going to stay fresh for the most part. Yay! Live again. Yay! Live again. Takes a deep breath in frustration of my internet not being perfect. It's so expensive. For the amount we're paying for internet, we can't technically own a car. Just saying. Just saying. Melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles, is commonly used as a suppressant supplement to aid sleep. Support vivid dreams when taking melatonin, vividness, enhancing REM, DMT in dreaming, compound for inducing vivid dream-like experiences, involved in processes that would use no established scientific evidence. I don't want to know. Okay, fine. Scientific evidence is important, right? But you just kind of like cutting me off, being like, oh, cool idea and whatever, but no scientific evidence. Like maybe you should be scientific evidencing or something. Maybe go and reanalyze all of the data we have and see if there's any discrepancies that the researchers missed. Uh, all in good time, Sam. Soups and ball. Yeah, I need cardio. No, first step is going to be exercise. First step is not exercise. First step is never exercise. You can get 80% of the way where you're going just with diet. You can literally sit on the couch and just do diet, and you will lose 80% of the weight you want to lose. Right? It might not be the healthiest way to do it, but you could. All right. So first step is unfortunately diet. Like that. We're here to help now, bro. You have presented us with a problem, and we would be amiss if we didn't help you solve this problem. So I think me and Sam's onto something. Cooking for yourself in bulk before, even weighing out your calories as well in your individual Tupperwares that you're going to be consuming is going to be the best way that you can actually take care of yourself. And it's going to be it's actionable, right? You spend one Sunday, you spend one Saturday, you spend one Friday night, right? Like while you're cooking, audio is cutting out. Did that help the audio? I'm going to try as well. Me too, Joy V. Thank you for letting me know. Let me know again. I just restarted YouTube and it fixed it. Okay, so it's new friends that need to restart, it seems, this time. I did disconnect, so it was like a collaborative effort messing my stream up, I'll admit. Pre-cooked lunches and snacks is really smart way to watch your intake. We unconsciously snack on junk way more than we want to admit it. True, Pojo. And especially if you're in that hungry state, like you're like, oh, I want to eat something now, but it's like this amount of time before I have to cook something. And if I cook something now, then this and that, and then so and so. If you have your meals already prepared, it's a lot easier to just eat the things that you're supposed to be eating instead of all of these smaller things on the sidelines. Joe agreed. For the past several weeks, I intended to make meals for the coming weeks, and I didn't do it. Well, maybe this is our call to awareness, Namshi. I'm proud of you for wanting to do these things for yourself. It was choppy for a minute there. Your friends haven't let me know. Is the audio better? Is it still choppy? I can try and maybe exit back out again or something. Thanks, Joe. That worked. Okay, good. Good. So if you have choppy audio right now, the mic is still scratchy though. I'm gonna try and do this. And I'm hoping that that was the meaningful difference that we needed. Did it make a difference? You let me know. The stream is running smooth, but there's a weird feedback. Melt, you might have mentioned already, but how is it back with your parents? I haven't talked too much about it. I have said some things, but it feels the first few days I was definitely a little bit somber about being back here, right? I still do kind of feel like this, but I can overwhelm this feeling with gratitude. And the feeling is that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, right? I don't feel like where I'm supposed to be necessarily. But that again is my ego's involvement, right? And instead of concerning myself with where I'm supposed to be, I am concerning myself with whether or not I am capable of gratitude despite my experience. And it's interestingly enough, this last week of having constant power interruptions and, like waiting for the electricity to come back, that I realized that, oh, it can actually be worse and I can still be okay. So the fact that it's not always worse means that I'm grateful. Right. And I've been occupying that state a little bit more. I feel the big thing that's kind of a bummer is that it doesn't feel like much has changed. But again, that's my own ego's involvement where I think change is a good thing. And I think if we change, there is growth. And if there's growth, then there's progress. And if there's progress, then there is achievement or reward, value being created. And I'm not seeing that as much as I want to. And there's only so much I can do, right? And encouraging that. Universe disagrees apparently, or else you wouldn't be there. True, Joyvi. It's more a matter of like the way I get to interact, right? It's like the environment I find myself in is limited to only a certain range of melt, right? There is the melt that is listening to a problem. There is the melt that can be helpful in doing a chore. There is the melt that can cook a meal, right? Wash dishes. There is the melt that can watch a movie together or something. And I feel like that's kind of like I'm trying to think about more states of myself that I can be, but that's kind of like the range, right? That I have to play within. Where in the environments that I like finding myself within, I am 100 different things in a single day, right? To 100 different people potentially, right? Like the conversation I get to have with them gets to be uniquely what they need to hear from me in that moment. And in that way, it feels like we're still having the same conversation in this space. So it's not like I'm in the wrong place as like a bad thing, more as I know I am more valued in other places, right? Like there's more value for me to bring into other places. Home shouldn't change too much or else it wouldn't be home. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I agree with that, but I do get what you're saying. Mel, you've changed though. I hope so, Nancy. I do hope so. I trust so as well. Maybe that's in part why it feels like there is a misalignment because I do think that I've changed and it's like there's not the same amount of change in my environment potentially. And maybe it, what a great perspective. Bless. Maybe it calls to my mind like, oh, oh, like, have I changed? I still think so. But I feel you, Nancy. Thank you for understanding with me, dear friend. And thank you for asking. LT, sometimes we must return to gain appreciation for what we left, to gain a perspective on the way we look at the situation, sometimes to humble ourselves. Seeing the value is what is available. Seeing the gratitude, right? Feeling the grateful is what is valuable. Existential reflections come when we least expect it. I'm here with you for that, friend. Taking a deep breath with all of you. This experience is a vast one. There's so many things to feel, so many directions to grow into. I really do appreciate you, friends, for being willing to grow alongside me. I do think we're going to bring this one to an end. Not because I feel like I need to, but just because I'm noticing that it has been 2 hours since we've started. It was nice having you, friends, here for these times. For us to celebrate day 1444. To meet you again, I was trying to show up with a deep sense of gratitude for you, friends, today. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you so much for the amount you've done, the amount you've shown up, the amount you've given to my life in prayers and thought and finances and kindness and presence. It really is such a dear pleasure having you, friends, here in my life. I look forward to us having 1,444 more days. It's a beautiful day to smile, my friends. It's only today that we get. Love you, wholesome animal critter creatures. I love you, Ja. Thank you, dear ones, for joining me. Gratitude. Gratitude. Thank you for having a nice, delicious bowl of gratitude with me. Look forward to having some more with you again tomorrow. Goodbye, dear friends.